I watched my father hug my older brother at his college graduation, tears streaming down his face, telling him how proud he was. Meanwhile, I just graduated summa cum laude with a degree in engineering, and my dad hadn't even looked at me once during the entire ceremony. When I tried to show him my honors cord, he waved me off. Not now, Jordan. Your brother's moment. 5 years later, I invited my entire family to my house for dinner. When they pulled up and saw the driveway, they stopped dead in their tracks. 3 luxury cars. All paid off. All mine. My father's face went white. And when I handed him the title documents proving I owned them outright, he finally understood what he'd been ignoring all these years. My name is Jordan Mitchell, and I'm 27 years old. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I work as a senior software engineer at a major tech company. But for most of my life, I was invisible. My older brother, Tyler, is 30. He's always been the golden child, the athlete, the charmer, the son my parents actually wanted. Tyler played football in high school. He got a scholarship to a decent college. He graduated with average grades and now works in sales, making a decent living. My parents worship him. Me? I was the quiet kid, the nerd, the one who spent Friday nights coding instead of partying, the one who got straight A's but never got the same attention Tyler got for catching a football. I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA. I got accepted to MIT. I earned a full-ride scholarship. My parents' response? That's nice, Jordan. Tyler just made varsity captain. I went to MIT anyway. I studied computer science and electrical engineering. I worked my ass off. I graduated summa cum laude. My parents came to my graduation, but they spent the entire ceremony talking about Tyler's new job. They took one photo with me, then left early to catch Tyler's company softball game. I stood there in my cap and gown, holding my honors cord, watching them drive away. That was the moment I stopped trying to get their attention. I decided I'd build something so undeniable, so impressive, that they'd have no choice but to see me. After graduation, I got hired at a tech company in Charlotte. My starting salary was $95,000. Within 2 years, I was promoted to senior engineer. My salary jumped to $140,000. But I didn't change my lifestyle. I lived in a modest apartment. I drove a used Honda Civic. I ate at home. I saved everything. I also started investing. Stocks, index funds, real estate. I taught myself everything I could about building wealth. My parents had no idea. They still thought I was the computer guy making okay money. Meanwhile, Tyler was living paycheck to paycheck, leasing a BMW he couldn't afford, renting a luxury apartment he was constantly behind on. But my parents bragged about him constantly. Tyler just closed a huge deal. Tyler's thinking about buying a house. Tyler's doing so well. And me? Jordan's still doing his computer stuff. I didn't correct them. I didn't brag. I just kept building. 3 years into my career, I made my first major investment. I bought a rental property. Then another. Then another. By the time I turned 26, I had a portfolio worth over $500,000. But I still lived modestly. I still drove my old Civic. I still kept my head down. Then, 6 months ago, I decided it was time. I'd saved enough. I'd invested wisely. I'd built the life I wanted. And I wanted my parents to finally see what they'd been ignoring for 27 years. So I made a decision. I was going to buy something they couldn't ignore. Something that would force them to acknowledge my success. I was going to build a car collection. I started researching. I didn't want just any cars. I wanted cars that represented success. Cars that screamed achievement. First, I bought a Tesla Model S Plaid. $130,000. Paid in cash. Then, I bought a Porsche 911 Turbo. $170,000. Paid in cash. Finally, I bought an Audi R8. $160,000. Also paid in cash. Total, $460,000 in cars. All owned outright. No loans. No leases. I had the titles framed and hung them in my home office. Then I bought a house. A beautiful 4-bedroom home with a 3-car garage. I moved all 3 cars into that garage. And I planned a family dinner. I sent out invitations. My parents. Tyler. My younger sister, Maya. Everyone. I'd love to have you all over for dinner at my new place, I wrote. My mom called immediately. Jordan, you bought a house? Why didn't you tell us? I wanted it to be a surprise, I said. Where is it? You'll see when you get here. Tyler texted me. Nice, man. Finally upgrading from that dump apartment. I didn't respond. The day of the dinner arrived. I spent the morning cleaning, preparing food, making sure everything looked perfect. At 6 p.m., my family started arriving. My parents pulled up first. They got out of their car and stared at my house. This is yours, my mom asked, her voice filled with surprise. Come inside, I said, smiling. Tyler and his girlfriend arrived next. Maya came last. They all walked through the front door, looking around at the modern furniture, the open floor plan, the high ceilings. Jordan, this is beautiful, Maya said. How did you afford this? I've been saving, I said simply. Saving, Tyler said, laughing. This place had to cost at least $400,000. $520, I corrected. His smile faded. Are you serious? Completely. My parents exchanged a glance. Jordan, did you take out a huge mortgage? My mom asked, concerned. No, I said. I paid cash. The room went silent. Cash, my dad repeated. Jordan, what are you talking about? I paid for the house in cash, I said. No mortgage. No debt. I own it outright. Tyler's jaw dropped. That's impossible. It's not, I said. Come with me. I want to show you something. I led them through the house to the garage. I opened the door. All 3 cars were parked inside, gleaming under the garage lights. The Tesla. The Porsche. The Audi. My family stood in stunned silence. What the hell? Tyler whispered. These are mine, I said. All 3. Paid in cash. No loans. No leases. I own them outright. My mom covered her mouth. Jordan, how? I worked for it, I said. I saved. I invested. I built wealth. And I did it all while you were busy ignoring me. The tension in the garage was suffocating. That's not fair, my dad said. We didn't ignore you. Yes, you did, I said. You've been ignoring me my entire life. I walked over to a wall cabinet and pulled out a folder. Inside were the titles to all 3 cars, the deed to my house, and my financial statements. Here, I said, handing the folder to my dad. Look at this. He opened it slowly. His eyes scanned the documents. His face went pale. This says you have a net worth of over $1.2 million, he said, his voice shaking. That's correct, I said. How is that possible? My mom asked. You're only 27. I graduated from MIT summa cum laude, I said. I got hired at one of the top tech companies in the country. I've been promoted 3 times. I make over $200,000 a year. I've been investing since I was 22. I own 3 rental properties. And I've been building this life while you were too busy paying attention to Tyler. Tyler's face turned red. Jordan, come on. No, I said, cutting him off. Let me finish. My entire life, I've watched you get all the attention, all the praise, all the love. I got straight A's, and you got a party for making the football team. I got into MIT, and you got celebrated for getting a scholarship to a state school. I graduated summa cum laude, and you got Dad's tears of pride for finishing with a 2.8 GPA. Jordan, we were proud of you, my mom said weakly. Were you? I asked. Because you never showed it. You never came to my award ceremonies. You never asked about my internships. You never celebrated my achievements. You were too busy worshiping Tyler. That's not true, my dad said. It is true, I said. And you know it. Tyler was always your priority. I was just the kid in the background. The one who didn't need attention because I was self-sufficient. We didn't mean to make you feel that way, my mom said, tears in her eyes. But you did, I said. You made me feel invisible. You made me feel like my accomplishments didn't matter. And I spent years trying to get your attention. But I'm done trying. I gestured around the garage. I didn't buy these cars to show off. I bought them because I wanted you to finally see me. I wanted you to realize that the son you've been ignoring is more successful than the son you've been praising. Tyler stepped forward. Jordan, that's not fair. I've worked hard too. Have you? I asked. Because from what I can see, you're drowning in debt. You lease a car you can't afford. You rent an apartment you're always behind on. You live paycheck to paycheck while pretending to be successful. Tyler's face went white. How do you know that? Because I pay attention, I said. I've always paid attention. And I know the difference between looking successful and actually being successful. My dad set the folder down. Jordan, I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, I said. I just wanted you to know the truth. I wanted you to see what you missed. And I wanted you to understand that I didn't need your approval to succeed. I did it anyway. The garage fell silent. My mom was crying. My dad looked devastated. Tyler looked humiliated. Maya looked proud. I'm sorry, my mom finally said. We were terrible parents to you. You weren't terrible, I said. You just had favorites. And I wasn't one of them. That's not true, my dad said. It is, I said. But it's okay. Because I don't need you to be proud of me anymore. I'm proud of myself. I walked back into the house. Dinner's ready. Let's eat. Dinner was uncomfortable. No one knew what to say. We ate in silence for the first 10 minutes. Finally, Maya spoke up. Jordan, I'm really proud of you. Thanks, I said. I mean it, she said. I've watched Mom and Dad ignore you for years. And I hated it. But I was too young to say anything. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize, I said. You were a kid. Still, she said. You deserved better. My mom reached across the table and grabbed my hand. Jordan, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how much we'd hurt you. I know, I said. We're going to do better, she promised. I hope so, I said. My dad cleared his throat. Jordan, I need you to understand something. We weren't trying to ignore you. We thought you didn't need us. You were always so independent. So self-sufficient. We thought you were fine. I wasn't fine, I said. I was lonely. I was hurt. And I was angry. I understand that now, my dad said. And I'm sorry. Tyler hadn't said a word. He just sat there, staring at his plate. Tyler, I said. You okay? He looked up at me, his eyes filled with something I'd never seen before. Shame. No. I'm not okay. You're right. I've been living a lie. I'm broke. I'm stressed. And I've been pretending everything's fine because I didn't want to disappoint them. He gestured to our parents. They expected so much from me. And I couldn't handle it. So I faked it. I leased cars I couldn't afford. I rented apartments I couldn't pay for. I made everything look perfect on the outside while I was falling apart on the inside. Why didn't you tell us? My mom asked. Because you already thought I was perfect, Tyler said. And I didn't want to let you down. My dad shook his head. Tyler, we never expected perfection. We just wanted you to be happy. Then why did you treat Jordan like he didn't matter? Tyler asked. He's smarter than me. He's more successful than me. And you ignored him. Why? My parents didn't have an answer. Because it was easier, I said quietly. It was easier to celebrate the son who needed validation than to acknowledge the son who didn't ask for it. My mom started crying again. We were wrong. We were so wrong. I know, I said. But I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty. I'm telling you because I need you to understand how much damage you've done. And I need you to do better. For Maya. For yourselves. For me. We will, my dad promised. It's been 3 months since that dinner. 3 months since I finally confronted my parents. 3 months since everything changed. My relationship with my parents has improved. Slowly. They've started asking about my work. They've visited my house multiple times. They've apologized more times than I can count. But the damage is still there. And I don't know if it'll ever fully heal. Tyler and I have grown closer. He's started therapy. He's working on his financial issues. He's stopped pretending to be someone he's not. I was jealous of you, he told me last week. I always was. You were smarter. You were more driven. And I hated that I couldn't compete. You didn't have to compete, I said. We were never in competition. I know that now, he said. But I didn't then. Maya and I have always been close. But now we're even closer. She's finishing college now. She's studying engineering, just like me. And I've been mentoring her. I don't want to end up invisible like you were, she told me. You won't, I said. Because I'll make sure they see you. A few weeks ago, my dad called me. Jordan, I want to take you to lunch. Just the two of us. We met at a restaurant downtown. He looked nervous. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, he began. About how we ignored you. And I want you to know something. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of the way I treated you. I'm ashamed that I let Tyler's accomplishments blind me to yours. Why did you? I asked. Why was Tyler always more important? My dad sighed. Because he needed me more. He struggled in school. He struggled with confidence. And I felt like he needed my support more than you did. But I needed you too, I said. I just didn't show it. I know, my dad said. And I should have seen that. I should have paid attention. I should have celebrated you the way I celebrated him. It's too late to change the past, I said. I know, my dad said. But I can change the future. And I will. I promise. I wanted to believe him. And part of me did. But another part of me, the part that spent 27 years being invisible, wasn't ready to trust yet. Last week, I took my parents for a drive in the Porsche. My dad sat in the passenger seat, looking around at the interior. This is incredible, Jordan, he said. Thanks, I said. I'm proud of you, he said. I glanced at him. Are you? Yes, he said. I should have said it years ago. But I'm saying it now. I'm proud of you. I didn't respond. Because words are easy. Actions are harder. And I needed to see if his actions would match his words. Over the past few months, I've learned something important. Building wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. Freedom from needing validation. Freedom from caring what people think. Freedom from living your life to meet someone else's expectations. For years, I wanted my parents' approval. I wanted them to see me, to celebrate me, to love me the way they loved Tyler. But I don't need that anymore. Because I've built a life I'm proud of. A life that doesn't require anyone's approval but my own. The cars? They're nice. But they're not what matters. What matters is the discipline it took to save for them. The sacrifices I made. The vision I had. That's what I'm proud of. Not the possessions. But the person I became in the process. A few days ago, I got a message from a guy I went to high school with. He'd seen photos of my cars on social media. Dude, how did you afford those? Did you hit the lottery? No, I replied. I worked for it. What do you do? I'm a software engineer. I save. I invest. I live below my means. That's it. That's it. He didn't respond. I think he was expecting some secret formula. Some shortcut. But there isn't one. There's just discipline. Consistency. Patience. And a refusal to live for anyone's approval but your own. Tyler called me yesterday. Jordan, I need your help. With what? I want to get my finances in order. I want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. I want to build something real. Can you teach me? I smiled. Yeah, I can teach you. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Just promise me one thing. What? Word count. Part 10 equals 310 words. Promise me you'll stop pretending. Stop trying to impress people. Just focus on building something real. I promise, Tyler said. And I believed him. If you're reading this and you've ever felt invisible, overlooked, or undervalued by your family, know this. You don't need their approval to succeed. You don't need their validation to build the life you want. You just need to believe in yourself. Work hard. Stay disciplined. And trust that eventually, the results will speak for themselves. For years, I chased my parents' approval. I wanted them to see me, to celebrate me, to love me the way they loved Tyler. But I don't need that anymore. Because I've built something they can't ignore. Something undeniable. And more importantly, I've built something I'm proud of. That's the real success. Not the cars. Not the house. Not the net worth. But the confidence that comes from knowing you did it yourself. On your own terms. Without anyone's permission. My parents are trying. They're making an effort. And I appreciate that. But I'm no longer waiting for them to see me. Because I already see myself. And that's enough. So to everyone who's been ignored, underestimated, or overlooked, keep building. Keep working. Keep investing in yourself. Keep pushing forward. Because one day, you'll have something so undeniable, so impressive, that the people who ignored you will have no choice but to see you. And when that day comes, you'll realize you didn't need their approval after all. You just needed your own. If this story resonated with you, drop a comment below. Share your experiences. Let's support each other. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about perseverance, discipline, and building the life you deserve. Thanks for listening.